Good evening, everyone. We just cracked 5,200 people. Ever since Santos put my video up on his main channel, after one day it's got 10,000 views. People are coming here, all good stuff. I wanted to talk to you about the brain, and I want to pose you guys a question because I'm going to present two sides of an argument. Um, I need you to help me decide which one makes more sense. So, this that you're looking at right here, okay, let me zoom in a little bit for you. I can't. Okay, that sucks. Oh, there we go. This is a 7-week old. This is at 49 days gestation. Notice if you look very carefully, the pineal gland is visible. See, 49 days was a very important day, or 49 is a very important number to a lot of people. For example, the Buddhists, they would mourn for 49 days, 7 days, 7 weeks. They would mourn. And they also believed that 49 days is how long it takes your soul to incarnate. Now, the Jews have something called Lag BaOmer, where after a holiday, they count what's called the Omer. It's a 49-day time period. The Catholics have a 49-day time period as well, too. It's called the Pentecost. And it happens right after Easter, and it's a 49-day time period. Why is 49 days so important? This is a baby at 49 days. This is a high-res ultrasound, and you can see the pineal gland starts to become visible. So the ancients thought that on the 49th day, when the pineal becomes visible, your soul comes down and it goes into it. So that's that. Next, we're going to show you this. These are conjoined twins, and they're conjoined at the head, as you can see. Excuse me. There's a word for it. It's called craniopagus twins, and they're fused at the cranium. And what I wanted to show you was not so much that, but this. Sorry, guys, I'm on a really old ghetto computer. This is a scan of them. Well, it's not a scan, but it's a 3D real depiction of it. Notice the brains are fused together. They share brain tissue. So let me ask you a question. If the soul comes into the body through the pineal gland, and you're in a situation like this where the brains are fused together and you can't differentiate one brain from another, how is it possible that these two beings have completely different personalities? Their likes, their dislikes, the way they talk, the way they act. You got to wonder about that. So the next that I wanted to show you is this. This is a story about a man. How to present the other side. This is a graphic artist rendition of what happened to a man named Phineas Gage, who was a railroad worker years back. And as you can see, he got a pole through his head, through his brain, and it basically obliterated the frontal lobe. Now, the frontal lobe, for people who don't really know what that is it's right in the front of your head, and it's known as the seat of reason, because that's where your politeness comes in. That's where people who they tend to be rude or act out or have bad impulse control, they have underdeveloped frontal lobes. If in fetal development, if they're bathed with too much serotonin, for example, they may become immune to it, and that's where the psychopaths come in. But Phineas Gage was a very nice man. He was a husband, he was a friend, and when he got this pole, it obliterated his frontal lobe, and he became a different person. He survived this accident, but he became a completely different person. His friends said they could no longer recognize him. They said that the old Phineas was dead. Now, just because he survived this miracle accident, you gotta wonder. Now, does the brain itself control personality? So that's that. I want to show you some other stuff. This that you're looking at right now, on the right is a healthy brain. This is an MRI. What you're looking at on the left is a man who had something called hydrocephaly. And anyone that's ever taken a medical terminology course in college before, hydro means water and cephaly means brain. It's water brain. That's basically what happened. The fluids ate away at his brain. 75 to 90% of his brain is gone. He had a low IQ at about 75, but he was married, he had children, he led a life. He is missing 90% of his brain. So the question now becomes, what is personality? What do we actually need? When you're looking at Phineas Gage, his frontal lobe, which everybody understands to be the seat of reason, was damaged. He became a different person. But this man survived on the left with 95% of his brain missing. It's a very interesting question. Now, the other thing I wanted to show you, if I could find it, which I cannot, so it's okay. So I wanted to pose you this question. What is the brain? What is the brain? How come in certain circumstances it's almost like completely useless? And in other ones, it's down to the T. The locations of things. Your visual cortex is in the back of your head. That's why when you get slammed in the back during a sporting event, you get, when you get if it's not a concussion, you get dizzy, your vision gets a little blurred. There's areas of the brains that we've been able to map out so far. Now, the question is, what is the brain? Well, I propose that the brain is more like a transponder. It's a receiver, with the pineal gland being able to reach our astral self. Think about it like this. It's like a DVD going into a DVD player. The DVD is the brain. Now, if the DVD is scratched, it's not going to play correctly, right? And then you have your thing like autism, and you have all your mental disabilities and disorders that affect it, right? But that's not to say that there's not a correct way for it to work. Now, what I'm just going to leave you guys with is the thought that we don't really know anything. We do know that matter, what we consider physical matter, including our own bodies, as I've explained with the the video I did with the guy who was under hypnosis to not see his daughter, and the hypnotist put a pocket watch behind the daughter's back, and the man saw through the daughter and actually read the time off of it. For example, things like that. We are not made out of material things. We are not. As Niels Bohr said, the things that we consider real are made up of things that we cannot consider real. So at the end of the day, there's all these medical anomalies sometimes. You have the man missing 75 to 90% of his brain, and low functioning for sure. Not low functioning, but lower IQ. That was the only thing different with them. They had no idea. And then you have people who get a little snippet of their brain, like Phineas Gage with the frontal lobe. This is why it's so important for you guys to understand that your frontal lobe, the seat of reason, helps you make choices, helps you hold your, what do you call them? Habits, your addictions in order to make proper rational decisions. That doesn't get fully formed until you're 25 years old. So there's a lot of thought about this, but I just wanted to leave you guys with a couple of questions. So let me know what you guys think. And I know I don't usually leave it so open-ended, but I hope you guys enjoyed.